Thank you very much, Saurabh. As always, it's a great pleasure to be here to talk to you about India's IT industry and the continued success and the very interesting times that, if you will, still lie ahead of us. I'll just make 2 or 3 very quick comments about the industry, and then I think we'll get into a discussion amongst all the panel members. But I think to set the stage, there are 2 or 3 factors that are truly interesting in terms of where we are right now. What has happened to the Indian IT industry and obviously the BPO sector as well over the last decade or so is that it is now actually a very mature industry and a very mature, vibrant sector that is still growing, very profitable. And we have companies along all ends of the spectrum. So we have very innovative new companies that are getting started at one end, and at the other end, you have companies that are at market caps of 25, 30 billion and are challenging, the best companies in the world for global leadership. So we have an industry which is very vibrant, growing at all elements across the spectrum, and as investors, drawing funds again across this entire spectrum as well. So what we find, therefore, is that we have venture capitalists like Rob and others that are looking at early stage investments, that are looking to finance innovative companies, and are putting, $3, $4, $5 million to work, as they fund some of these companies. Then, of course, we have more later stage companies which are interested in exits, that are interested in larger ticket investments, 5, 10, $15 million. They're being acquired in many cases, and a lot of the work that Ranu and others are doing is in that particular part of the investment spectrum. And then you have Julio and myself that are largely interested in what's happening in the global capital markets. We are looking at companies that range in market cap from $100 to $200 million all the way up to 25 and even $200 billion companies like IBM, obviously, that is the world's largest IT services company. So this is the full range of investment opportunities that you see here represented in the panel and that we will touch upon. And as we look at this full set of companies, the second interesting trend for you all to think about is that we are seeing a lot of exciting opportunities all across this investment spectrum. So whether it is investments in very not so early stage, but early stage companies, we're seeing that happening in quite a substantial manner. I mean, just yesterday, we read in the papers that the Mayfield Fund, which is one of the leading venture capital funds in the United States, has just invested in Tejas Networks, which is a product innovation company doing some very exciting work in communications equipment. That's happening on the one hand. On the other hand, we also read yesterday in the newspapers that a company called Carator actually bought Keen for $854 million. So, depending on where you are in the investment spectrum, there's activity happening all across it. And, of course, you might have also heard that there's been a lot of speculation recently in the public markets that there are going to be some large acquisitions or large M&A happening even in the much larger multi-billion-dollar company range. And certainly we've had companies like EDS and Capgemini acquire companies like Canbay and Emphasis, etc. So wherever you look across this investment spectrum, whether it is very early stage companies or whether you look at much larger companies, you're finding just very interesting investment opportunities, which we will of course talk about. And for you all as investors and industry observers and participants, you really have a wealth of opportunity in terms of where you can put your investment rupee or dollar to work. So that's kind of a brief overview of the investment spectrum.